Hello, my name is Dave, and I'm going to share with you today something about one of my favorite books. So I've got a lot of favorite books. I have a box full of books. I call it Dave's Box of Favorite Books. And one of them I shared a little while ago was called The Four Agreements, and that is by Don Miguel Ruiz. And the context I had shared it in was basically I was wondering of the four agreements, which by the way can have some pretty significant impacts on one's life. I mentioned in that share that the quarterback for the New England Patriots, Tom Brady, swears by it. He reads it once every year. I've heard a lot of other folks there it's made a huge impact in their lives, and I've also found it very helpful too. So my question was, though, of the four agreements, which one would be the toughest one to agree to? Now, one of my friends read that and reached back out, and he shared with what he thought was the most powerful of the four for him. It was Josh, so thank you, Josh, for sharing. I like that context as well. I like that view. So I've been kind of thinking which one was the most powerful one for me. So what I'm going to do very quickly is I'm going to remind you what the four are, and then I'm going to share which one was the most powerful for me. And if anybody feels like sharing back the ones that are most powerful for them, feel free. I think that's how we learn, by sharing. So without further ado, here again are the four agreements. So the first one is be impeccable with your word. So that means no judging. So you're no judging yourself and no judging others. The second one is don't take anything personally. So if somebody says anything hurtful for you, what the author Don Miguel was saying is often it's all about them and has nothing to do with you. So don't forget that and don't take it personally. Easier said than done. Don't make assumptions. So again, Don Miguel was implying that most of our assumptions turn out to be wrong. I've noticed that to be true with mine, so I've been very good with that one. So make a hypothesis and test it out as opposed to assuming something. And then the last one is always do your best. So I'm an anti-perfectionist, so I'm a little bit biased with that one. I like to say instead of practice makes perfect, practice makes progress. So Josh, I was thinking about it, and I think something happened to me actually about a week or so ago. Speaking of football, I was watching the Super Bowl, and it was around Super Bowl time. I was tired. It had been a crazy week. I was excited to watch it with my son, but I was a little bit tired, a little bit emotionally drained. And I just finished telling people it's been about 3 years now that I've been sharing blogs, and no one has come back and said anything hurtful or negative or anything about it. So I thought that was really cool. My assumption was I was going to get lots of people doing that. When I went and tested that out by sharing, it turned out not to be true, but I jinxed myself. And somebody sent out an email. Well, actually, they reached out to me behind the scenes, questioning something that I had done. And when I looked at it very quickly, I very quickly broke 3 of the agreements. So I look at the first thing I did is I took it personally. I mentioned I was tired, my guard was down, my shield, my armor was open, and I took it personally. And the first thing I did when I took it personally is I started judging that person. I also started making assumptions. I was assuming it was negative. It looked very negative. The tone was negative, came across as negative. I didn't even decide to hypothesize it. I just made an assumption. This person was, coming out doing something hurtful, and I just decided to cut them out of my network. So basically, judged them, made an assumption around, what their message was, what they were reaching out for, and then I basically just, cut them out of my network. So 3 of them. So anyhow, I felt kind of badly about that later on, but I realized, you know what? I was tired. I was down. I reacted in the moment. I'm not perfect. And I just moved on. So I think from that exercise, at some point in time, I'll reach back out and explore that, but I don't have the time right now. But I think from that episode, what I took away, the most powerful one for me was do your best. So I'm doing my best. The 4 agreements are difficult to agree to. I've been practicing a lot, but sometimes, you know what, I'm not perfect. I'm not going to be able to agree to them all the time, but I'll do my best. So there you go, doing your best. That's my favorite. What about you? What's yours? Cheers.